As a matter of fact, yeah, when what's that gorilla's name? Harambe or whatever that they shot because they had the baby.
Yeah, we're just gonna start this shit live.
The only time I caught the Holy Ghost was when I was in church drinking.
Like they're two dumb dudes. Welcome to the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast.
Understand his type of, I guess, artwork or storytelling.
Yeah, his stuff is always very whimsical. Like very whimsical, very like fantasy oriented. Like there's gonna be some stuff in there that, just makes you question, like, hey, what was he thinking? Like all them birds.
Yeah.
I still don't know exactly why he leaned into birds, but I didn't mind it. I actually liked it. But
the parakeets or just the birds in general?
Just a lot of birds. You got the parakeets, you got the heron, you got the pelicans.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if he was using that as a representation of like spirits or something like that, or I don't know if he was like, I don't know if he was trying to say anything with it, or he just liked birds.
Yeah, I couldn't figure that out either. I don't know, but yeah. If you want to get the introduction, ladies and gentlemen, I am back.
Yeah, with that being said, welcome to the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast. It's your boy Sarat, aka Makazi.
And your boy Chris Brown, aka Red Fort Delta. How's everybody doing out there?
Well, we haven't heard that intro in a while now because Chris has been out of commission, but he's back right now, which is nice, and it's perfectly fitting. Why? Because this is a special episode for everybody who's been rocking with us since the beginning. Welcome to the official 100th episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast. If I'd press the applause button, but I don't want it to fuck up my audio, so I'm not.
For real. I mean, 100 episodes, we made it in. I missed the last few, due to me being me. If you know me, then you know me. If you don't, then don't worry about it. But I do want to say special shout out to the people that, was able to help keep the podcast going while I couldn't do it. So to all you guys that, did your thing, I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. And I actually think, the guest host thing is, might keep going for a while. We don't want to stress out, whoever, by whoever, I mean Chris, we still dealing with some stuff. So it's just, to keep everything moving. And I actually think it, it offers a different perspective and a nice like change of pace. Once you get like other voices coming in, sometimes it just feels like hearing another person's perspective. You figure after listening to us for a while, you might already know what we're going to think of about a movie before we talk about it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, speaking of this movie, very curious to hear what you think about it, because there's a specific reason why I picked this movie.
Yeah, because you're fucking Asian.
Yeah, no, well, maybe a little bit, but
it's anime, so keep going.
Well, the movie we watched this week is The Boy and the Heron. It's a Hayao Miyazaki movie. That's fucked up. I think I might have messed up his name.
Shit, I can't say it at all, so go for it.
Hayao Miyazaki.
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
It sounds like just Chris will just say chopstick. It's chopstick.
Some Asian dude made it. I don't know. Shit, it could be a damn woman.
Yeah. But the reason why I picked this movie for this week, for this occasion, is because in 2023, The Boy and the Heron beat out Spider-Man Across the SpiderVerse for the Oscar for the best animated movie.
Oh shit.
So after watching this movie, we gotta have a discussion. Which one should have won best animated feature?
Come on, man. That's in my brain, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, well, it's because Spider-Man's a black movie, so that's
not even because it's a black movie.
Right.
Black power. I mean, just come on now. If you watch the first Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, and then Across, the story was so good, the action was good. Just come on now. No, don't get me wrong. I think The Boy and the Heron, when we get to talking about it, I'm sure we're going to figure some things out. But I definitely feel like just knowing that, Spider-Man should have won.
I don't know. So we're gonna have to talk about this, because I'm very conflicted. Because
Really?
You know how much I love Spider-Man.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm very conflicted. But before we get into the movie, as per usual on the podcast, Christopher Brown. This is actually a really funny question. Christopher Brown.
Yeah. This is
what you drinking?
So what am I drinking? My good old morning juju. A nice cup of good old fashioned passionate H2O.
You know, you need the Swanson's broth, chicken.
I actually had some of that last night.
Bruh, listen, in my age, just warming up some chicken broth, tossing a little salt in it, and sipping on that, that's a great sipping drink.
Well, okay. Okay, so with them cup noodles, I can really care less for the noodles because I think the regular ramen is better,
Mm-hmm.
but the broth always tastes good to me.
Yeah.
So I'll say the broth and make regular noodles with it.
I don't
I'm
know.
just saying.
I literally always just eat up all the noodles and then I'll just sip on the broth
Yeah.
out the cup. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like sometimes one of the reasons why I drink so much coffee is not because I'm addicted to coffee. It's because man, fuck you. First
I'm
of all,
about to say, okay, make this sound really, really good.
I like having a warm drink. The feeling of having a warm drink, and I like the taste of coffee. I prefer coffee over tea. There is one tea that I used to drink when I used to go to the Barnes and Noble in Holyoke all the time.
Mhm.
I just don't remember the flavor. I think it was like oolong or something like that. But whatever it was, like I used to drink that tea all the time. But I just don't really care for the taste of tea that much. Give me a black coffee over it any day.
It depends on the tea. Sometimes I do like tea, lemon, and honey.
I don't know. You don't look like a tea, lemon, honey guy. You look like a
Add
slut.
the whiskey to it.
I know.
You know,
I know. Yeah. You see, you used to always use that as spiked everything. Everything.
Yeah.
Chris drank was spiked water.
Spiked water, spiked Kool-Aid. Shit, even my spiked drinks were spiked. I spiked them some more.
Every time you drink it, this don't taste the same. How come? Because it don't got Jack in it. That's why. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh man,
I'm actually I'm drinking something right now.
what you got? What's your morning?
I got one left.
Is that a Starbucks?
Nah. I ain't drinking. I haven't tried any of the canned Starbucks like you have. I should actually, because I'm actually coming around more towards cold coffee.
Mm.
But this, I tasted it last week, but I got one can left. It's the Coca-Cola Oreo. Have you tried this yet?
I ain't never even heard of it.
Bro, it's a zero sugar, but it's an Oreo flavored Coke. And this shit tastes like a fucking like it's been had Oreos steeped in it all the time. It's much better than you would think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta try it. I gotta find it now, but that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if they have it at Dollar Tree.
There's a Publix around here, just a little further away.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I like
I was
this.
gonna say, well, shit, while you're talking shit, oh, Prime, that's at Dollar Tree.
Hey, Prime is everywhere.
Yeah.
That man's got that shit. Like, I seen that shit. Where was I? I was at, I forget where I was. I might have been at like what's that? Academy Sports, and they had like the Prime, like the water bottles you could fill with water. I'm like, man, they just making the bottles now that you could just put water in it or some shit.
Have you ever even tasted the Prime drink yet?
Not bad.
It tastes extremely sweet. Even, like I don't know what it's supposed to be. Like, is it an energy drink or something?
Hydration drink.
That
That's
shit
supposed to be
tastes-
kind of like BioLite, but like not
Really?
as salty, you know?
You know, mix them together. Might have something because Bowlight is salty and Prime to me was sweet as shit.
Yeah. That's one of the only reasons why I don't really drink it that much is because like it's a little too sweet for me. Like if I'm drinking it while I'm working out, that it feels like that sweetness stays in my mouth. I don't really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. All right, man. So the boy and the heron off rip. Did you
Of
like the
course.
movie? He ain't done this much thinking since third grade.
I know, right? Because I got to give you straight yes and no. So yes, I liked it, but I feel like it could have been better.
Okay, explain.
Well, I mean, because I felt like it was a quick movie, wasn't it? It was under 2 hours.
Yeah, no, it's just over 2 hours.
Just over. Okay, gotcha. And maybe I missed something because you can get confused watching this type of artist
Yeah.
style of movie. So like I said, maybe I missed something, but I felt like the story wasn't making sense. I mean, I got the stone and him going to find the grand uncle and how it all happened or whatever. But
Yeah.
like I said, unless I missed something, with the parakeets and his mom and everything else, I don't know.
So I really like this movie, and I think one of the issues that you and maybe a lot of people might have with it is because like it's very surrealistic. Like a lot of Miyazaki's movies have like that surrealism to them, where you have like animals talking and all these different things. So I think if you're looking for a straightforward story,
Mhm.
yes, it might be a little like confusing. I think with his movies, specifically this one, I think he's saying more. He's just painting it in a very whimsical and very Alice in Wonderland like way,
Mhm.
Because if you watch Alice in Wonderland, you're gonna watch like if you see like that, what is it, the cat, the Cheshire cat,
Yeah.
it might throw you off. You're like, what the fuck is this? This striped ass cat like talking and disappearing and with them white teeth.
You know what? I think I need to go back and watch the movie anyways. Because as a kid, it was just a movie full of colors, and Alice gets stuck down a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
But I want to see if I had the same perception of it as an adult.
yeah,
It's subliminal messages or what the hell was going on.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like with this movie, I feel like it was less about him going into this fantasy land
Mhm.
than the tower, and more about him processing the death of his mom.
Okay, see, I kind of thought about that too,
Hmm.
because as you know, later we skip around.
Yep.
Um, when he finds the fire girl,
Hmm.
doesn't she say that his mom was her sister?
Yeah.
But then when they had to go through the doors, she says she has her own door to go through, so she can become his mom.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's like I say, I missed something or something happened.
Well, because you notice by the end of the movie, he's starting to call the I think it's Mariko was the girl's name. I forget, but it's the lady that was pregnant.
Yeah,
He starts calling her mom.
yeah.
So I think from what it looked like to me, it felt like it was like the fire girl was his original mom, that she had to go off and like go off and go her direction of her life. And like
Mm,
when she called the pregnant girl her little sister, it's like it's almost like passing the baton. Like
okay.
this is your family now. Like this is your son now. Like that's why
Mm,
you're like that. Like in the scheme of like parenthood is like she's my older sister because she was your mom before I was your mom. That's what I took from it.
gotcha. Okay.
No.
Interesting perspective. Like I said, I might have missed something. 'Cause,
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where I'm literally like I'm looking into it and trying to think about it. Like it doesn't say it. It doesn't really like put it out there, but and when I was watching it, that's what it kind of felt like. That it just felt like it was him processing the idea of losing his mom and
mhm.
and then taking on a new family.
Like I said, I can see that and it makes sense because even when the movie starts off, it starts off with his mom died in a fire. Am I
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it makes sense that the fire girl could be his mom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because it was weird. Because I started thinking about it, and I was like, okay, well, if this great granddad, he's supposed to be related to his great great grandfather, the guy that created the whole whimsical world.
mhm.
But then she was also related to the lady that was pregnant,
Mm.
was his stepmom. So I was like, okay, is this incest? What's going on? This some old fucking polygamy shit? I didn't know at first.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: how important do you think the Heron was in this movie? Because it's called The Boy and the Heron, and obviously, the Heron has a whole other person living inside of him.
You go, Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Nose. That shit gross, man. You ever seen a person with the nose that got all the fucking bubbles?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Looking like Luba's nose.
No. Oh man.
Yeah, but no, I think the Heron was just his. I don't want to say it was his connection to the real world or something like that, but it felt like the Heron was just that thing that brought him to the tower.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It said it was his guide, but I don't know if it was necessarily his guide, as in, like really was taking him through that journey, or if that was the thing that his connection to the real world.
Hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Their relationship was really, really interesting to me.
Well, you notice all the birds was trying to eat people.
Yeah.
So once they went into the fantasy world, like it was just all these birds and everything were just starving for meat. I guess they all don't have enough food.
Hmm.
Like, okay, let's look at this whole fantasy world. Like it looked magical from the outside looking in, but when you listen to what everyone's saying, you realize like the animals are running out of food. Like the stability of it is like going down, and the what is it, the great grandfather or the guy that
The
tower, yeah,
Yeah.
tower master, whatever, he's trying to keep everything together.
See, that's what I thought, because they said he found the stone or whatever, or the tower, he became so obsessed with it, and then he tried to build a tower around it that, didn't last.
Yeah.
Like I figured from the outside looking in, it probably like an old abandoned, let's just say, building.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Where a bunch of birds just happen to make their home,
Yeah.
with including a homeless person, which was the girl and the guy on the boat. You know what I'm saying?
But that wasn't.
Hold on, first, was it a girl or a guy?
I don't know.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
whatever it was, because I thought it was a dude at first, but then the voice was like, okay, is it a girl? I don't know. Either way, if you look at it in modern day times, it might be one of those buildings that just got ran down, and
Yep.
when you walk into them, you see a bunch of old birds' nest,
Yeah.
and you got the bum in there that just, the birds are his friends, so he has to make sure they eat. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
bigger birds might eat the smaller birds,
Yeah.
which is what the pelicans are doing. You know what I'm saying?
So I mean, but the dude on the boat was it was, remember, because he asked the person their name, and it's the same name as the old lady that he walked into the house with. And so he goes, I know someone with that name out here, but it's an old lady. And you notice they were dressed the same. Because you saw the little doll of the old lady, like they all had the same clothes on.
Oh, snap, you're right.
So that's why I was thinking, like, maybe he went into this, like, again, abandoned house, and like this is just him processing, going through like the whole loss of his mom, taking on his new mom. Like it felt like, he stepped into his own world where everything he recognizes in his world takes a different form in this world.
Yeah.
Like say if you was like, if you were kind of going through the same thing, and like, all of a sudden Juice is like a dog in your universe, but in that one is like a fucking, soldier of fortune or some shit.
Interesting. Matter of fact, do you hear that background noise?
Yes, I do.
Okay, make sure I had it in the right setting. That's interesting, because now that you mention it, that would make sense of him just trying to process his mom disappearing or the death of her, whatever.
Yeah.
And when even when the Heron keeps telling them your presence is being requested, it's like it's almost like telling a person grieving, we know you're going through this, but the people living still need you.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need to go through this in order for you to get through. And that's why I think the fire girl would show up and she'd save everything, because that was like in his mind, like his mom was his, like, I don't want to say hero, but like in this story, it feels like that his mom is his hero of the story. Like she's the one that's saving him. Her memory is saving him. So it's like getting to the point where he's got to, be okay with letting her go off into her world, and be him moving on with with the family now.
So it's so funny though. So do you think that, I guess now that we're brainstorming to piece it together, because I actually do like your theory. It makes sense to me that could have been it. Do you think his mom actually died? He's processing it all, or she just left him?
I think his mom actually died. But I think he was just trying to let go of her memory.
See, and I go back and forth with that, because obviously it's about the fire and everything, but the Heron says they never found the body, did they? Did you see her body?
But he never got a chance to go see the body.
Mm,
because the thing collapsed, So that might be him being like, no, she's still alive. In
gotcha.
his mind, like she's still alive. Like I know I didn't see the body, so she's still out there. And
Mm,
it's almost by the end, it's like, no, like I gotta come to terms with the idea that okay, she's gone now.
gotcha.
Because like one of the things that struck my not fancy, but like that caught me by surprise was when he's in that room, the birth room,
Yeah.
and like the papers are flying everywhere,
Mm,
and like all of a sudden his mom, all of a sudden the pregnant girl looked at him and says, get out of here, I don't want you and stuff like that, and like it
hmm
kind of triggers something in him. He's like, mom, like he said, and in my head I was like, is there something that happened between him and his mom or whatever that like maybe put her in the hospital and that's what he was remembering in that
mm,
moment? Because you figure if you look at that, she's like they're wrapped up in those fucking papers, so it almost looked like
yeah.
bandages.
Like, yeah, bandages are becoming mummified or something. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
And she's saying, I don't want you, I don't want this. So I was like, man, like did something happen to where that put his mom in the hospital in the first place?
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because even the part in the movie where he hits himself in the head with the rock.
Yeah.
So at that moment, I'm thinking he did it because he didn't want to go to school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I guess what I'm trying to piece together here is him seeing his mom or whatever the case may be is almost like maybe he thought he caused her pain,
Maybe.
you know. And so like because him hitting himself with the rock,
Hmm.
and then it's almost like the way I'm trying to piece together is he did something wrong,
Hmm.
which caused his mom to go through something,
Yeah.
or maybe even a death or whatever,
Yeah.
and trying to find her, trying to fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when he's talking to the great uncle, he says, I put the scar on my head out because of my own malice."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe it was because he wasn't. I don't know. Maybe he was trying to. He realized like he was messed up in that moment when he hit himself in
Mm,
the head. Because like he got into the fight at school.
mm,
He hit himself in his own head. Like he's almost like he is. I'm not okay right now. Because this right here is because I'm kind of fucked up. So like
mm.
so I'm not as pure as you need me to be in order to keep this place going.
Gotcha.
You know? I was like, yeah, because it was almost like that fantasy world was like his perfect world collapsing in on itself.
Mm,
Because he lost his mom.
mm.
That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Did you when you were a kid? Did you ever like have to go off and like escape and go like create these whimsical worlds in your head to like kind of process what's going on in your life? Because
That's a very interesting.
I used to create fucking like secret clubs.
Really.
I don't know how many Power Rangers I was as a kid, but I used to create all these secret clubs and shit like that. And just like it was almost like those places that I could go and just not necessarily be the hero of the story, but be one within my craziness and
Mm.
not be judged by it.
That's interesting. I call that imagination land.
Yeah, I think creatives all have that. You know.
I think everybody has it, and I just think some people's imaginations are a lot bigger than others,
Yeah.
or just more far fetched.
Hmm.
Because I think I told you this, where I was sitting there. As a matter of fact, yeah, when what's that gorilla's name, Harambe or whatever that they shot because they had the baby. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know.
All right, yeah, I can't
Yeah.
remember the damn name, but in my brain, I feel like in my imagination land,
Mhm.
like I'm a warrior. Like I done went up there and fought the gorilla
You
and got it. However, check this out though.
went
When
up
we
to
was
that
walking to
gorilla,
the
was like,
zoo,
I likes you and I want you.
that's my imagination land. And when where was we at? Was it was someplace we went to and actually saw one in real life? I was like, maybe not as big as I thought I was.
I think maybe we was at like Disney or some shit. I don't know. But
But yeah, like everybody has their imagination land, so that's me.
yeah.
I mean, as a kid though, I would always get away. Like I used to climb up the window and get on top of the roof, and sleep there at night. You know what I'm saying? Um,
What? You're
yeah,
like a big crow on the top of the building.
I wasn't as big as I am now. You know what I'm saying? This is like when I was back like 112 pounds.
Bro.
Then like a whole 100 and something pounds ago. Shit.
Yeah, no, so
Man.
I like the other day I was actually walking my house and I saw like they had the cover, like those covered porches, and like the second floor had the windows by there. You can climb out the window and just sit on the porch.
Mhm.
I mean, or sit on the roof above the porch. And I was like, man, that's
Okay, yeah.
if I was a kid, I would love that shit. Just climb out, sit out
Mhm.
there. That's where you can sneak away to smoke if you needed to or some shit.
And shit, you and kids are stupid because now that I'm older,
Mhm.
and I just look at stuff I used to do. Like I'm an adult, so
Yeah.
I've seen life, I've done it.
Hmm.
So I'm sitting there. I remember when my sister tried to smoke, and we had to. we're in the room.
Yeah.
Our parents are downstairs in the living room. We got the door closed with the window open, blowing the smoke out the window, not knowing that if you don't smoke or it's not in the house, you're gonna pick up on that scent very, very quickly.
Hmm.
As an adult, I know that now. As a kid, they know we're not gonna get caught. Shit, we got caught instantly. Smoking all day, you know what I'm saying? But as a kid, but like, no, this is gonna work.
But
Open the window, turn the fan on.
now let me ask you a question. This is completely off subject. Okay, but do you think weed smells sweet?
Even though I'm not a smoker like that, um, nah.
Nah,
Some
right?
of it does. Some of it does smell better than others because some of it smells like straight skunk for real.
Yeah.
But I also think it also has to be the paper that you wrap it in.
I think if you're a smoker, you can trick yourself into thinking it smells sweet, but that shit just smells like ass. Like it does. It just sticks on you. I never understood why people get dressed up to go out, but then smoke beforehand. They go out smelling like fucking like doo doo brains. But it's so I was talking to someone and they were like, yeah, my mom used to tell me that she could like she could recognize the smell of weed because she used to always say that weed smells sweet. And she'd be like, nah, mom, like that's no, do you really know what weed smells like? Because it don't smell sweet at all. Like it smell worse. It's terrible. I wouldn't
My
wish that
homeboy,
smell. Yeah, if I farted that smell, fuck, I would think something was wrong with me.
look, my homeboy, he talking about when I first started. Like I was smoking more when I was first was smoking and everything.
Mhm.
He don't get the plain wraps. And I'm like, why you only get the flavor ones? He's like, I want to taste the weed. It's like the weed don't taste good. He's like, because you're smoking the wrong stuff. You gotta get the good stuff. They all taste different. I was like, dude, you smoke too much to know that.
Exactly, exactly. But the thing is, that's how you was with the alcohol. You be like, oh yeah, this one's sweeter than this one, and this one. I'm like, nah, this all tastes like turpentine, bro.
But look, there's different types of alcohol.
Yeah,
There's different types, so they're gonna taste different.
yeah. Now as an adult and I'm drinking more, I can see that. But when like, the first time you tasting it, like beer, I've come to like beer now, but bro, for the longest time that was just piss water.
Yeah. See, I thought the same thing. I thought all beers were the same
Mhm.
until I was rich and got broke. And I brought the cheap shit, and I was like, ugh. That's why they say on the top shelf and bottom shelf. But this shit here was on the bottom back corner. And it's fucking terrible.
Bro, it's like vodka, man. My mom used to always buy that bottom shelf vodka to think it was good enough. I was like, nah. Once I start tasting like the nice stuff, I was like, Mom, what's wrong with you, Mom? You're supposed to use this to clean the floor. That's it. That's all it's good for.
The budget cuts, man. You never know.
Okay, so have you ever had to, like, have you ever had to like process loss in a way that just like what's your way of like working through those moments in your life?
It's a very, very not a hard question to answer. I'm just going to give a really, really direct answer, I guess.
Okay.
I've never, to my memory, lost somebody that broke me down.
Okay.
And part of that I feel is because I remember being a kid and my grandma dying, um, friends in school, whatever case may be, and you feel the pain, especially if you see me today. But then, it is what it is. But then after the military and knowing everything I seen it being in there, that it's like it's almost like you don't have time to grieve. You just have to accept it for what it is because it's part of life. People die.
Yeah.
So I really can't say that I've been through a situation where I lost somebody like physically that, I had to really sit back and process to understand the death or mourn or whatever. It's like, I don't know, I'll give myself a certain amount of time to deal with it and then get back to business, which is probably selfish of me.
Yeah.
But that's just the way I've learned to process it all.
Yeah, I feel like for me, like, there's been times where I've, lost people in my life where like I was sad, I've done some crying, but like I don't think I ever had a moment where it felt like I wasn't already accepting of the fact that like, no, this is just a part of life. Like, yeah, it's sad. You don't see this person anymore. You don't, you're never going to have those, you're never going to build new memories with them. But like, I always instinctually was like, like, hey, this is just part of life. This is what happens. So like, you can be sad, but like, just move on. Like you got to move on because, this is just what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I remember back in high school, I don't know if you remember a guy named Daniel Woods. He went to Putnam, so, but he was big in football, but he ended up shooting himself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit!
And I played football with him, and me and him wasn't like best friends or like that, but we were teammates. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we see each other in the hallways, give each other a dap, keep on walking in case may be. But he just started running back, and I'm second string safety. You know what I'm saying? He just is what it is.
Yeah.
But when he died, that was like as I'm thinking back, I think it was more the impact of just knowing somebody your age that you see every day, because the whole school was crying. People that didn't even know him or just didn't know him personally, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it affected everybody. So I don't know, maybe in situations like that where it's just like,
you ever think that some of them people are just bullshitting? You just crying because everyone else is?
Sometimes I think that,
yeah. Some people like, they be like, oh, it's so sad, and they be talking about them like they was best friends. Like, motherfucker, you didn't know him.
For real.
Stole his pencil from school. That's it. Like,
oh man.
I think sometimes it's weird because grief is such a personal thing that like someone's grieving, all you want to do is you want to be able to just help that person get through it because you understand that like it's hard. It's hard to go through it. Sometimes people will try to latch on to that grief. Like, oh, you're grieving, so I'm gonna grieve too. But it's like, you don't need it. It almost feels like they want some of that attention you're getting for grieving. And I'm just like, man, like you don't need to like give you help, but you don't need to sit there and be like, oh, you're grieving, I'm grieving too. Like, no, like if you're not that close with the person, it's okay to be like, I didn't really know him though. It sucks, he's gone, but I didn't really know him that well, so I don't really have an attachment to this motherfucker.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at with Daniel Woods. Like I knew him, but I didn't know him.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I'm not looking like I wasn't trying to get attention, nothing like that. But just knowing that one of your peers, especially being at that age, what 15, 16, you know what I'm saying, dying, like it affected everybody.
Yeah.
And like I said, maybe some people will just like want to be a part of the crowd and cry too, or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, like I'll play football with him, like nothing more, nothing less. But that was still enough for me to understand that, hey, that like I remember practice, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like I knew his mom, so we was, Sunday dinners and shit like that. Nah, like like that wasn't my friend, and they just that makes sense.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So okay, so
but you gotta be thinking though. I gotta send you this episode of BoJack. You gotta watch.
Okay. You laugh.
I'm laughing because what you just said about grieving and everything else.
Yeah.
And I remember I asked you to watch the one where he's giving the eulogy for his mom's funeral.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. But so there's another episode, a couple episodes later, where he's trying to avoid talking about his mom dying. And Mr. Peanut Butter, which I know you don't know who that is, is a dog. And he takes over. But Miss Peanut Butter's mom's been dead for years. He just didn't know it. Bojack's mom died. He's like, yeah, my mom died, but I want to talk about it. Don't give me your pity. I don't want you to leave me alone. And everybody walks away. He's like, where's everybody going? Because he really wants
Yeah.
the support,
Yeah.
but he's an asshole, so he's not trying to get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when the dog finds out his mom died like 15 years ago, he's like, please give me all the support and everything. And they're all loving him. And he was like, my mom died too. Like, Bocha, you just said you didn't want the support. But you gotta watch the episode. It'll make more sense when you watch it. But yeah.
I get it. I get some people put up that wall, being like, I need to be tough in this moment.
Mhm.
Is it okay to be tough? Is it okay to be tough when you just want to be vulnerable? And likewise, is it okay to be vulnerable when you just want to be tough?
No. Being the age I am now and as old as I am and living the life that I've lived,
Mhm.
sometimes you have to be vulnerable because people need to know how serious you are
Yeah.
about whatever it is that you're feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to break down and cry. Sometimes
Mhm.
you got to put that vulnerability to the side and do your job. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It just depends on the circumstances. But how can I put this? I don't think I don't think it's right to hide them.
Yeah.
But I do think it's right to be careful who you show it to.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to, like, process grief and go through loss any which way you can. But, like, but at the same time, it's okay to just to act like you act like you're moving forward. Like in the public eye, it's okay to sit there and just put on a strong face and just be like, this, it is what it is. I'm just still going through life. But then in the privacy of your own home, ball up, get naked, ball up, and just be crying and shit like that.
Mhm.
I never did that. I was close, but never did that. But
Nah, not naked. That's just weird. Nah. But nah, I mean, I get that. Where it's just like, I mean, my own personal experiences where you just always had to be the tough guy or be the one to
yeah,
keep everyone else together.
yeah,
So you don't got time to cry, or at least in that setting, you got to hold it all in. You got to put those emotions somewhere,
yeah.
and it takes time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes shit. You got to know how to do it. How to just ball it up and push it down to the bottom of your gut and keep on going.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
then
you can look at my life. Like, I went through a divorce recently and shit like that. And, like, for a lot of people, they wouldn't even know that I was going through anything because, I showed up, I did my work, I kept a smile on my face, and it wasn't a front. I was genuinely happy in those moments and stuff like that. But, in those moments when you're by yourself, you gotta let it out. You gotta just actually let yourself process it. Otherwise, if you hold on to that shit, you're gonna wake up one day and you're gonna have a thumb up your butt wondering what the fuck just happened.
it eats you alive from inside out.
Exactly.
Because I mean, well, obviously I know your situation and what was going on.
Yeah.
So I don't know who else you could have talked to, would have talked to, may have talked to, whatever.
Yeah.
But I know conversations me and you had. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like I told you, I watched you go from sky high happy to under the dirt low. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I seen that.
Yeah.
The rest of the world, not saying that they didn't deserve to see that, but maybe they didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna cry for everybody. I'm gonna cry for people I know that can. I'm gonna cry for people that deserve my tears.
Yeah. Either that or the cook behind the buffet table because they ran out of chicken.
That's tears of joy. Oh my God. So good.
You got another plate of pork chops. Oh.
Oh man.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, I guess, yeah. So I mean, that's with this movie, I feel like on the surface, it feels like another Miyazaki movie, kind of like just, again, whimsical, fantasy oriented. But I think if you really like analyze it and delve into it, like, for me, it was just it was about the process of grief and moving on with your life for a kid. That's what I thought was really dope. I don't know what is up with the birds, but
Yeah.
like you said, maybe if you walk into an abandoned house or something like that, and you get the pigeons and everything everywhere, that's kind of what he was going through. Do you think the tower was actually a thing in the backyard of the property, or?
I want to say yes and no. Like I think there was something there.
Yeah.
Because remember the old lady said men didn't build it. So I think there was a type of landscape that was there.
Yeah.
And maybe the grand uncle, whatever, got so obsessed with it or even lost his mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe he went through grief or something. and maybe it was a bunch of different caves or whatever that he walked in and just found himself trying to find himself.
Yeah.
In this mountain, so to speak, or this tower. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I would love to believe that like a lot of that talk of it being this spiritual, like mysterious thing that came from the sky was kind of part of the story, but I feel like it was just like made up.
Yeah.
Because I want to believe that it was just, the kid like ran away
Mhm.
to go try to process his loss and went into like an abandoned shack that's on the property, like way off in the back of the property, and everybody was searching for him and couldn't find him.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's why, like I said, I actually do agree with your theory. I mean, it makes sense because I couldn't figure it out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, yo, like, I'm brain working for this one right now. You know what I'm saying? But if that's the case, like, if it's about grief and loss and how to deal with it,
Yeah.
then okay. Because as we're talking about, we deal with grief or loss differently.
Mm-hmm.
Some people we just go and drown their sorrows out.
Yeah.
Some people,
People climb mountains and shit.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Whitewater rafting.
Yeah, just
death.
yeah. I mean,
We went and tempted death, and only Saran's the one that got close to it. He won't go whitewater rafting no more.
Are you serious?
He's like, I almost died. I'm like, motherfucker, you had a life preserver. You could just float.
Look, he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, I didn't know I was paying attention that much.
Yeah.
But because they give us a whole rundown and everything.
Mm-hmm.
When you get up there and get into that shit, it's like your instincts kick in. But we had a 10-minute class before we went out there, and for some reason we knew what to do.
Yeah, you know what I don't know. Yeah.
We knew what to do.
I remember Sarin when we pulled him up, and he's sitting there trying to pull his shorts back. I'm like, motherfucker, another rapid's coming. Like, get in fucking position.
Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
But. All right. So now that we've done some delving into this movie,
did
it deserve to beat Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse for Best Animated Movie?
Honestly, I still want to say no.
Why?
Because I feel like Spider-Verse was just told so well. Not only was it told well, it cut into every Spider-Man movie ever made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
And then I had the whole introduction of different worlds, and he was never supposed to get bit in the first place, and has to fight the vampire Spider-Man.
Yep.
And just like even when they're chasing them, he's getting away from all of them. And I don't know what he says. I don't know what he says exactly. He says, "Yeah, but I got everybody away from the tower." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he was that good just to get into another universe to find out he's the villain in this universe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, so the reason why I'm asking this is because the one thing Spider-Man has going for it is it's a popular character, or that's already popular. It did have the whole all the different Spider-Man, like the little tidbits from different Spider-Man movies, like Donald Glover showing up as Prowler, all this different shit. It had the crazy soundtrack. So like there's this movie with all these tips and tricks and all this high budget shit going for it. And then you got this small animated movie about, essentially processing loss. And so like, it's to me, it's the difference between like, does the Oscar go to the blockbuster or does it go to the artsy movie?
Well, I mean, I don't even know how they grade these movies. Because like I said, now that we're talking about, now that we've actually talked about the movie and brainstormed, I want to watch it again to see if it makes more sense with what we've talked about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if I can see that message in there more clearly,
yeah,
then the message itself, I think is dope.
Yeah.
And the message itself is better than the message in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But as far as a full movie, the Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying?
I think I was gonna say upon first view, but I've seen Across the Spider-Verse like fucking 10,000 times. But I don't know. I feel like when you're taking an original story
Mhm.
like this, like The Boy and the Heron, and it when you get something like that and it makes you think and it makes you consider and it makes you get emotional and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then you take in this other thing where, you know, it's got all these other aspects to it that'll make you like it. Like even if you don't like the movie that much, you might like the soundtrack. If you
Mm.
don't like that, oh, okay, we got like all these. Oh, it's cool that they have all the other Spider-Man show up and things like that.
Yeah.
It has all these other things going for it, where this one's just a simple story. I don't know, because when you watch like regular movies, it's like watching. Let me see, what's another really good one? It's like watching Life of a Dog
Okay.
and then watching Transformers.
Mm.
It's like, you know, the two different style movies, but if they're both up for Best Picture, do you go for that thing that's got, you know, the crazy explosions and the graphics and the Transformers that you grew up watching as a kid, or do you go for this simple story about a kid trying to like, just grow up?
Hmm. But see, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how they grade or rate these movies because we don't know who's behind the scenes that are actually doing the judging.
Yeah.
Because you can have some.
Go ahead.
No, so you can have somebody that's all into the graphics and the fight scenes and everything else. But this movie was dope, which of course Transformers is dope. But
Mhm.
then you got somebody that understands deeper meaning and likes to do that, like, yeah, do that deeper level of thinking and everything else that will find My Life as a Dog so much better than that.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So we don't know who's on the board because if you got some people on the board, you know what I'm saying,
yeah.
and four vote that Transformers is better, then
All right, but okay, but
Transformers is better.
all right,
You
but
know what I'm saying?
what about Chris Brown's criteria for Best Picture? Like, what do you look for in a movie that makes you go, okay, I put this movie above this movie?
Um,
Tyler Perry here.
no. Because you know my favorite movie is my favorite movie is
I know,
Big
but
Fish.
it's
You know that.
Halloween.
No, shit. But you know what? Even though Big Fish is my favorite movie, it's not my best movie.
Okay,
In my opinion, the best movie ever made, in my opinion, is Forrest Gump.
okay, I'll give you that.
And not in the reason why I think it's the best movie ever made, from even though I ain't seen every movie in the world,
Yeah.
but it dealt with so many different things
Mhm.
between the South, racism, autism, war,
Yeah.
friendship, you know what I'm saying, family, um, coming to terms with things with Lieutenant Dan, and like it had so much in this movie that told such a great story
Yeah.
about an innocent kid that just wanted to do right by everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen a movie that can tell that many things in one story and do it so good,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think for me, I think it's the how much a story sticks with you.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, I think that's what makes a movie like, when I put stuff in order of like
Mhm.
movies that I love. I think at the end of the day, it's how much does that story or whatever the messaging or whatever sticks with me. Because like,
Mhm.
again, I love Across the Spider-Verse.
Mhm.
I love uh I love like fucking like Transformers and all the Marvel movies and stuff like that. But then when I watch the movie Chef, and it's about a guy
Mhm.
who's dedicated his life to this one endeavor, and then just come to terms with the idea that like he hates his life and where he's at, and he's got a terrible relationship with his kid, and then
Mhm.
he's got it's almost like starting over. That kind of message and story fucking sits well with me. I
Mhm.
love those kinds. So when I sit there, I'm like, do I like that more than Black Panther? Like, yeah, I
Mhm.
think I do. Even though I love Black Panther,
Mhm.
Black Panther 2 better than Black Panther 1. But
Yeah.
like, I just like, I think when you don't have all those extra elements to help tell this story, it's just the actors and a
Mhm.
camera and a setting.
Yeah.
But then you're able to tell a story that's the hell.
What'd you do?
Bro, hold on. Oh, let me check something because either something fell in my window or I got ghosts. Hold on.
Probably a bird. Was it one of them skeletons?
Yeah, it's one of the. It actually is. It was one of my skeletons for the Halloween. I got
Oh,
these
for real?
in the window.
Did the tap on the glass?
No, I think the sticky thing just fell off, so I gotta go re-stick the suction cup on there.
Man,
And I looked over and I just seen the blind going like this. I'm like, ain't no wind in this house right now. I was like,
over there freaking out.
bro,
Oh man.
listen, I didn't had enough fucking like not Halloween, but enough like ghost shit happen to me where when that kind of stuff happens, I'm just like,
Hmm.
I gotta stay vigilant.
Man.
But yeah, no, I think as far as Boy and the Heron versus Across the Spider-Verse, I can see why this movie won Best Animated Feature.
Hmm.
On a pure entertainment level,
Mhm.
I'll watch Spider-Verse all fucking day.
Yeah.
I love the movie. It's good. I'm entertained by it. But I think this one, when you sit down and actually think about it, there's some deeper meaning and stuff like that that goes into this, and it's a wholly original story. Like
Mhm.
there's no character in there that's got a built-in fan base.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. Now, like I said, the story definitely is more heartfelt and more deeper than Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
But as an all-around movie, I still go Spider-Verse. Like I disagree. Like I'm talking all around. Like if you're gonna pick best picture, you know what I'm saying? Because that's like me saying, because you know my big fish, best picture. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But that to me just told a good story about a person.
Yeah.
And I love the metaphors in which you can learn from it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean this could be better than, like I said, Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Even though they both tell great stories.
Yeah.
It just depends on which one you gravitate to more, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I think, yeah, it's hard, especially and plus like animation style. I
Mhm.
loved how Spider-Verse had so much different types of animation. Like every universe you went into had its own style of animation.
Yeah.
But then there's something to be said about that anime hand drawn look where I'm just like, man, I wish they need to make more movies like that. You
Oh
know?
yeah. I mean, that's why I love animes in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It's the
Mhm.
old school hand drawing everything. Um,
Speaking
this one,
speaking of,
huh? Oh, go ahead.
have you watched Terminator Zero yet?
Not yet, no.
Bruh, I binged that shit on a flight from Orlando to fucking Sacramento. It's 8 episodes, half hour each.
Mhm.
I've been telling everybody, to me, that's the best Terminator like media,
Mhm.
anything since T2.
So, I had to check it out.
Bro, it's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck. Listen, I don't mind Terminator Salvation. That other one, Terminator Genesis, yeah, you can get rid of that. But yeah, Terminator Zero.
No, like, everybody knows Terminator 2 was the best one.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how many they remade, even when they brought back Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
then what was the last one?
The last one's
What,
Terminator Genesis.
that's what Sarah Connor came back, right?
Yeah, when the girl from Game of Thrones was Sarah Connor.
Yeah, but the original Sarah Connor comes back, am I right?
I think
Her
so.
and, see, I mean, even to come back and revise their roles, it's always dope to see.
Yeah.
But Terminator 2, just I can't tell you what the best part of the movie was because it's like to go back and watch it. It's just like some badass shit where he's on a motorcycle with the shotgun, blowing the gates open, driving through I guess the gorge or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, the little canal in LA.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
One
he
of my
got the
favorite
big
things,
ass truck chasing them.
bro. One of my favorite things when his what is it, John Connor's aunt is talking on the phone and she just goes like this.
Yeah,
And then when it turns around, you see that the hand had turned into a knife and killed the dude.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh no, it's so good, bro.
yeah. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
All
know.
right, man.
I'm not feel like I want to go back and watch this movie though.
What,
Just like on that take of it, if it's about dealing with
I think,
grief or death or something, or coming to terms with his mom dying,
yeah.
then I want to watch it again.
I think if you go back and watch this movie and yeah, just watch it through the lens of someone who's, just lost their mom and who
Mhm.
has to accept that, oh, he's got a new mom coming who's pregnant and all this stuff. And you see it through that. I was like, oh man, I think it was about loss and acceptance.
Now I kind of want to go and read some reviews now and see, I guess, what the critics say about it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people said
the
it was
official critics.
a lot of people said they thought it was Miyazaki's like best work.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I but a lot of his stuff is kind of like this. Like it's got like that, it's not your typical, run of the mill story. Like it's not gonna have all the things in the world that you just recognize. So it's not gonna tell like a on the surface story. It's gonna, you're gonna have to delve into like the theology behind it and stuff like that.
I know we talked about it, but I'm still confused on the Heron. Like, what was his major purpose? Like, even when they go into, I guess, a tunnel or whatever, and the figure on the top says, "I command you to be his guide."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, to me, that was almost just, again, that was just like, him stepping into his own little wonderland. And like, so that to me, that's him creating a scenario in his head about all these things that he sees. Whereas maybe in reality, he's just in this abandoned house with all these different birds. And the only reason he's in that abandoned house because he followed the heron into that house.
Okay.
How like sometimes, when you start creating those stories, you gotta like come up with reasonings for everything to be there.
Yeah.
It's like, because when they escape after, like the old lady's got the fucking the parakeet on her shoulder. He goes, the king parakeet.
Yeah.
That was the one that was Dave Bautista.
That was his voice?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I think it was just him. Like, it felt like him in this space wherever he was, and he was just creating this world. Remember fucking Bridge of Terabithia?
You know what? I know the movie, but I can't. I think I'm getting it mixed up with Pan's Labyrinth.
Now, in Bridge of Terabithia, like they would swing over the little creek and land on the other side of the woods, and to them that was like them entering their kingdom. So then they would just like create this fantasy world. So whenever they saw squirrels, they're like, no, those are warriors from this place. And then all of a sudden, they in their mind they see the squirrels with the armor and shit like that.
Huh. Okay. And you know what? I haven't seen Bridge to Terabithia.
Right. Watch that with your kids, and then be prepared to tell your kids about grief.
Oh gosh. Okay.
It's one of those movies. It's like a Bambi. It's one of those movies where it's like, there's some themes in there that are good for kids to learn about.
So these should be cracking me up, man. I was getting onto one of them the other day, and this is the second time I've used this phrase because I don't use it often. When they do something and then something happens back to them, but how you like them apples? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what I can't remember what I think him and his sister were fighting or arguing or something like that. And I was like, you just did the same thing. I said, so how you like them apples? He was like, we get apples? I said, no. You just did this. You just did the same thing you did to somebody else. So how does it feel? He said, yeah, but we get apples?
You'd be like,
I was like, forget it.
Stop being so damn dumb. Well, bro, before we finish off, first of all, 100 episodes.
Yes, indeed.
What did you when we stepped into this whole podcasting, world, what did you think was gonna happen with this? Like, what was your take on what we were endeavoring into?
Honestly, when the idea came up, and then told you the dream I had from years before, and how it all happened. At first, I was just like, seriously? Like a podcast about movies? Well, yeah, we both love them. But then we had a conversation about us keeping in contact with each other at least once a week. So I actually removed the whole podcast thing out of my brain and put a more of, this is my meeting with my best friend for this week. And we're going to talk about movies, you know what I'm saying? So it don't even feel like it's been 100 episodes, honestly.
Same.
You know what I'm saying?
It does not feel like it doesn't feel like we set out to make 100 episodes. It feels like, every week I just make sure, you good?
Yeah.
Well, did something bite you this week? What's going on?
It's man. Did you bite yourself? What happened? Shit.
But yeah, it's felt like it's blown by because at the end of the day, this wasn't something we were doing to gain anything other than time, time with each other. You know, checking in and making sure we're okay. It just happens to have hit. You know, it happened to have hit 100 episodes. Realistically, we filmed like 120 because we had all of them episodes beforehand.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been nice, and I'm glad we've done this because I felt like within the last 2 years we've kept a really good rapport and a good like communication going to the point where, you know, I don't wonder, yo, is Chris dead? Did he choke on a pork chop bone or some shit? Like, what's going on?
Oh man. Yeah. Nah, honestly, I don't know if this is bad to say because I never really had any expectation from it, but I'm happy that we do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know where it could go, where it won't go, if it's going to generate anything, if it's just like I guess I removed all that stuff out of my brain. I was like, this is just a conversation between me and my best friend.
Yeah.
So we make sure that we keep in contact because we said ourselves there were times we didn't talk, and it wasn't because we didn't want to, or whatever. It's just, you know, life is going on, and I'm going this way, and you're going that way, whatever. And when we catch up, you know, we didn't skip a beat. Yeah. But then we realized in those gaps, there was a whole lot of shit happening between those gaps that we might have needed each other on. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. There's been acquired and lost a whole lot of kids in that time.
Oh man.
But yeah. It's 100 episodes strong. I don't know where it's going, but like I said, like you said, it ain't about the episode count. It's just about the contact. Like
I said, I don't even know what our first episode was. I don't remember what movie it was.
Oh, our first episode was Our Idiot Brother.
No, that's when we first aired. I'm talking about the first time we recorded.
Oh, the first episode that we recorded was
when I was sitting in the bunker smoking a cigar.
I think it was, I want to say, damn. I was gonna say I thought it was that fucking movie with John Voight. Come on, man. What are you doing, man? Midnight Train or some shit?
Nah, I know what you're talking about. That wasn't the first one. It was because I want to say the second or third one was the one I had picked about with Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. And, that one was fucking the one that was set in fucking Massachusetts.
Yeah, that was like our third or fourth episode. Yeah. So, but I really don't remember our very first one. I don't remember what movie we did. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. I forget, but I remember fucking Animal World.
Yeah. we watched some of the most craziest shit, and then we watched some really, really good shit. You know.
Hold on, what? Our first one wasn't Wolf Cop, was it?
I don't think so.
I feel like it might have been. It might have been Wolf Cop. Because it was one of those deep cut ones that, like, you know, we had no idea why this movie was around.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, man.
Yeah, but here we are, 100 episodes in.
Yep, and more to go, man.
Well, that's what's up.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, that's the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast. Once again, it is your boy Sarat, aka Makazi.
And the boy Chris Brown, aka Red Fort Delta. Y'all be good out there.
Yeah, everybody tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in with us for this long. Remember, you can catch us on Instagram now at SC Movie Therapy. You can catch us on YouTube. So go there, subscribe. Wherever you get your podcasts, go there, subscribe. I got to start up a TikTok soon so I can post all our clips and shit. Because some kind of growth. I don't know. I got all these clips that I haven't deleted yet. So I need to somewhere before I get rid of them. So
all right, TikTok.
You got the TikTok. I don't want to download TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. That's why I'm already laughing because they be TikToking it up and I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing?
Yeah. Mr. Chris, I see you on TikTok.
Man, leave me out of this. Where's the pork chops?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're still listening to us after all these years and episodes, Thank you so much. And remember, like we said in the very beginning, fuck y'all. I got dreams.
I'm a warrior.